Hi, I'm Joe Ellison, and I'm back again with a sixth excerpt from the second of my Snarkey Putts Paranormal Attorneys-at-Law stories, The Case of the Ghastly Ghostwriter. In this excerpt, we join our hero, attorney R. Andrew Putts, as he visits a far more experienced telepath, the elderly but formidable April Menninger. April briefs Putts on the type of ghost he's dealing with. Let's listen in. No, April agreed. He is not at all like the professor. Dear Professor Vaughn is the more obvious, run-of-the-mill type of ghost. He pops in and out, lingers in certain places, has some unfinished business, looks after certain people for whom he had affection, you and I mostly. He can appear quite real for short periods of time, or if you're not paying close attention to him. He doesn't intend to do any harm. He's what we term a spiritus casperum. What's that? Putts shook again, his arms and legs, his shoulders, hands, and feet splaying out at odd angles. A friendly ghost, April emphasized. The word smoothed Putts' ragged edges like a pass by a box plane. When he's ready, when he's accomplished his purpose, he'll move on without fear. The entity is another matter. Putts held his breath and tried to sound as clinical as she did. What kind of matter? April folded her hands on top of the book's dark cover. He is a solid ghost, truly solid. The technical term is spectrum concretus. He can fool the untutored, like my sisters, into thinking he's a living human being. But he's not. He's not? Putts the clinician cracked and quivered. Not at all. He's as dead as a doornail. But his type of ghost is quite rare. Under controlled circumstances, I wouldn't mind studying him. But you can't have everything. As things stand, he's dangerous. I think he's particularly dangerous to the two of us. He's certainly up to no good. What makes him dangerous? Putts squeaked. Do you know what Concretus means, Mr. Putts? He took a shot in the dark. Concrete? Good guess, April complimented. But the word is older than the thing. The Romans called it concrete for a reason. The more basic meanings of the Latin are clotted, congealed, curdled, or constipated. Putts squirmed at the thought of a constipated ghost. All of these terms, April continued without offering comfort or relief, signify that this type of ghost is tightly bound to this earth. Perhaps because of twisted deeds or desires he had while living. They would have to be very strong enough to deform him, spoil him, pervert him, limit his spiritual nature, make him cling to the physical plane, make him fear to move on. Putts nudged his fear to one side. He's got limits? What kind of limits? Oh, April looked about the room, as if searching for the right examples. He can manifest himself here and there, if he puts his mind to it, by which I mean he can seem to teleport. But it would take a lot of his energy. I doubt he would do it often. If he stays quiet, he can make himself fade a bit. He can't quite become invisible, but he can drop below the threshold of your perception, unless you are looking for him intently and you know what signs to look for. But if he acts, if he does anything, he of necessity becomes as solid as you or I. He won't eat, Not food, anyway. But he has physical needs. He needs a place to stay, clothes to wear if he wants to move in polite society, some creature comforts depending on personal taste, that sort of thing. April put one hand to the faint wrinkles of her chin and drummed the fingers of the other against the book's cover. With this type of ghost, the question is always, why? Putts tried another guess. Why he wants creature comforts? No. April dismissed his speculation with a flurry of her fingers. Why is he bound to this earth so tightly that he's solid? She drummed again. In general, the reason is never good. In this particular case, I am afraid I know, or strongly suspect, at least a part of the reason, which is why he's dangerous to me. He's dangerous to you because, I'm afraid, you've learned something he doesn't want made known. Taut as a drawn bowstring, Putts quivered. I don't know anything. You do indeed, Mr. Putts. You know about the professor's theory. What? Putts hiccuped. How do you know? April shrugged. The professor told me. What a blabbermouth! Putts exclaimed. And that's it for today. If you want to see some other videos of mine, click on one of the boxes you see circling about me. If you want to visit my Amazon author page, my website, or check out any of my other novels, click on one of the links in the description below. Well, that's it for today, as I said. I thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again soon.